Welcome back to A Knight's Tale. It's been some time since we've delved back into our world of Travels, and yeah, let's see if we all remember what happened last time. Last time, our party had left the mining camp, finally, um, and had begun to travel through the pass, heading to the next closest village, which happened to be a fishing village that some of you were aware of, others not in more detail. At one point, perhaps, Webby was almost attacked by a much smaller redskin tiefling. It was more on the pinker side, indicating age, uh, with a giant greatsword. Knell had intercepted the child before a hit could be landed. And yeah, that's how you guys essentially met Charity, a child who had been taken only to be rescued by his father, and for then his father to perish. Uh, Sad times all around. In further information, just as you were about to decide on what to do with the child, your group was attacked by a mysterious foe that was on the opposite side of the path. Um, None of your spells were able to reach, so you decided to perhaps move on a bit quickly. You did, for about 5 hours. We rejoin our group after witnessing Gillie summon a phoenix for protection. No one's quite sure how that happened, considering that the bird just vanished soon after. But you are currently within sight of a fishing village. You can hear the lapping water against a shore that echoes through this descending night. You can see buildings with faint lights in the distance, and yet closer to you are tool barns that are in various state of maintenance. Some are down, some are collapsing in various ways, some are obviously being used. But yeah, the group is currently panting for air, a bit shocked. Did anyone care to say anything?
Did you say there are buildings around us with collapsing roofs?
Yes, some of the buildings are like more an abandoned sort of state. So there's holes in the walls, some roof is missing. In some cases it's standing or it's leaning where it's collapsed one side.
Well, shit, that takes away the problem of Nell being conflicted over squatting in somebody's building. If they're very obviously broken, then they very obviously don't belong to anybody, and there's nobody to ask permission.
Mm-hmm.
So, everybody cool with
Charity is
taking up
currently
residence in a
terrified of.
broken house? Huh?
currently Charity is sleeping in Gillie's arms, having passed out from just the sheer stress.
Actually, I had moved Charity from my arms to uh, Salvia's arms because he's bleeding profusely
Who,
from his nose and trying to stop it, and he's covered, so he feels gross.
whoever's holding Charity then.
Yes, me.
So yeah, Charity's passed out.
Yeah, pretty sure Charity took his sword back when we ended last session too.
Oh yeah, Charity still has his sword. He's holding
Yeah.
that thing like a lifeline.
Gillie will have his shirt up to his nose, trying to stop it, and looks around, trying to remember if the next town has any decent place to wash up or around if he can see anything, like water source to try to clean up this quickly setting stain. He's almost starting to panic as the realization setting in that his clothes are probably going to be ruined after this.
Roll for perception.
Okay. Oh my god, he sees nothing. I rolled an 8. Hold on, what's my perception? Perception is plus a 3, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11. Does he remember
Yeah,
anything
you
or...
can't. Memory, memory would be a different type of roll. Perception is for your senses. You can't see an obvious water source, and if there was one, it's probably contaminated by now.
I've got a water skin.
Given the state.
That's
Skin would work.
not nearly enough water for Gillie. Okay, so then what would be for trying to remember if he's... I can't remember if we've already said if he's known the next town coming up or not, but if there's would be source of like a bathing house or at least a
History.
small area. History, okay. History. 13. Oh god, this dice is not liking.
Okay, you know for a fact that there is not anything like a bathhouse in this fishing village. It is way too remote for something so sophisticated. Which is, you know for a fact that if there was a bathhouse around, you could get a bath, good to get your clothes washed, that blood would come right out. However, you know that there is a somewhat river close by-ish. Um,
When you say close-ish, a minute away, 5 minutes away, 10 minutes away.
it's like about from the center of the village, about 2 hours away.
That's not close-ish.
'Cause it's
It's a long way away.
Let's
um
take a moment and take in the fact that this is a fishing village.
mm-hmm.
It's like he wants to go bathe in fish water.
Bathe in fish water or bathe in blood? Your choice.
He's torn between these options. They both suck.
Well, regardless, Knell is scoping out the buildings nearby, the abandoned looking buildings that are very obviously broken and disused.
Okay.
Is there one suitable for habitation for at least a night?
Okay,
And will fit Webby?
roll survival to like check conditions of one of the buildings.
Let's see, I rolled an 11. Where's my survival? I've got advantage on survival. That was lower.
Why do you have advantage on survival?
I don't remember. But I've got a note next to it that says I've got advantage. I've got advantages on nature and survival.
That's got to be to do with your backstory, I bet.
Probably. 13.
13.
Wait, no, 14.
14. Okay. Here we go now. Missile pitches. Says here you got advantage with environment within sight. So yeah, that's fine. That's pretty much survival. Found it. It's good. What was the number?
14.
14. Okay. You scope is like you scope a couple of these buildings pretty quickly, and it's just like nope, nope, nope. It's like there's various problems. Either it's too small, ceilings clearly coming through, too exposed to the elements, not well hidden from the sight of the village roads. But eventually you do find one that's pretty far back. A quick look around of the outside, it shows that the wood is rotting, but not to the point where this thing is going to collapse on your head. Quick look inside and peering over the roof. Is covered. There are a couple of holes, but not so much near the center, just towards the outer edge. And it's fairly spacious. About 15 feet by 15. So yeah, it can fit all of you plus Webby comfortably. By no means is it
Alright.
by no means is it a permanent residence. It's not the lap of luxury, but
Yeah, I was just looking for something that was a step up from camping out in the woods.
yeah, this would protect you if it started to.
So I suppose I would lead everyone to it.
Yep.
Would anyone else like to be doing anything?
This party's gone quiet.
Or saying anything? Would anyone like to converse?
Salvia would look happy she was able to find somewhere to be, and she would be trying to cover Charity the best she could, so he wouldn't be too cold.
Kiira would go inside the building and just look around and just be like, okay, this is fine. Leave her stuff and go gather some firewood for the night.
Sure, roll a nature for me.
19.
19, yeah, you're pretty successful with it. I mean, you're right next to a forest, so there isn't too much of an issue. There's plenty of broken branches.
You're also around broken down buildings.
Yep, there's that. So yeah, you have no issue. You just come back. You just come back with a big armful of usable firewood.
Yay! Last time I couldn't find any, but it was raining.
Well, you were in
and
the
we
mountains.
in the mountains, yeah.
In the mountains, in the rain.
Yeah.
This time it would be as simple as breaking a chair that was left inside.
Yeah.
Alright, so it's late, it's dark. Knell is going to fix up a space for her to sleep. Possibly try to fix it up so that Webby can be comfy too. And she's gonna pull out some of the Greek meat for cooking.
Mhm.
Because
Sure.
everybody is likely very hungry. And once
Probably.
Kiira gets the fire going, we can cook. Somebody else can cook. Knell doesn't cook. She's bad at cooking.
What would cooking fall under?
I don't
Cooking
know.
would
But she's
fall
bad at
on-
cooking.
Cooking would just fall under like straight intelligence because like, well, it's like this is not raw, but it's not burned.
Oh, that makes sense because Nell's lowest status is her intelligence.
Gillie can attempt to cook if no one else wants to cook.
How many
Ah.
chunks of brick meat would feed our whole crew? I
Given the
have
size
8.
that I was gonna say, given that the size that they are, the great meat alone, could probably feed about 3 people.
Alright, so I will cook 2 chunks of brick meat. Or provide 2 chunks for cooking.
I got a 17 on cooking.
Yeah, that's fine.
Congratulations, you're the chef.
Weren't wasn't he just a minute ago worried about his bloody shirt?
He
Now
was.
he's cooking.
Oh, yeah, he's still having a small panic about that, but he too is hungry. He hasn't eaten in like almost a day. And he has child to feed now. He has adopted a baby tiefling, and baby tiefling needs to be fed.
Well,
Even though
Nell
he's
will
asleep.
happily offer her water skin and her cape in order to wash up with.
You gotta stir it.
Like it's not a lake or a bathhouse or anything like that, but it's enough to get the blood off of your face and possibly some of it off of your clothes.
He looked what's the word? Contemplative about this offer, and then was like, first, can anyone here do some magic and create water, perhaps? I can hope. No? No one? Oh, so sad.
I'm
How
so
far
out
away
of
is the
practice.
town?
I'm looking, but I seriously doubt it.
It's
I
like
didn't
it's
really
within
get
walking
that.
distance, the town itself, the village, about 10-minute walk.
Okay, so Gillie will like that. That's nice, but I might go into the town real quick and freshen up, and then maybe inform everyone that in the morning they could see a giant spider around town. But don't worry, it's friendly. And if they try to touch the spider, I will shank them all.
Is
Would
this
anyone?
in character or?
Yes, this is in character. This is Gillie talking.
Yeah, I'm so out of practice with this. I can't even remember how to do in character anymore.
Technically, what Druidcraft works.
We'll just do
No.
it craft.
It
Oh.
says you can create a tiny harmless. It says sensory effect. Okay, so the effect would manifest as a golden orb of clear clouds, cloud of rain, falling snowflake of snow, and so on.
You could do a tiny little rain cloud.
It could be a little shower.
A little shower.
Tiny little rain cloud over Gillie's head.
Essentially, the Druidcraft is as it says, is a tiny sensory effect. So yeah, you can make it look like it, you can make it feel like it, but it's not actually gonna do anything. It's not physically there.
Whenever
I
me
just
feel a
want to
little
make
bit
sure
better
because I
first.
saw that and I'm like,
I kind of want you
If
to
you
do it
make
anyway.
if Alyn is ever
She's also
pissed,
exhausted from having just ran for 5 hours, and when we rolled last time, she wasn't exactly in the best mood. Kind of because of all the running, she was tired.
if Alyn is ever
Alright, well,
pissed, she can put a rain cloud or thundercloud on top of you. Noted.
it's adorable, honestly. Okay, but after eating, Nell is just gonna cuddle up with Webby and go to bed, I guess. Because I am no longer good at roleplay in character, I suppose.
Gillie is going to, after done eating, walk into town because he's decided he cannot sleep like this. And he'll give extra love to Webby. It's like, oh, I love you, Webby. You're the best spider. I will be back. And then start walking off towards town.
Someone is just like a tiny click of the mandibles from webbing. Not a lot happens to that. To that effect. Well, it doesn't take you long to get into the village. Given that it's night, there are very few lights on. Only one building is shining particularly brightly. It's not a very big building. It's just a fairly standard size, from what you can see, made of wood and thatch. It's a couple of boxes and that loitering around outside, but it's nothing to cry home.
Well, does it look like an inn and or tavern bar?
It looks like an inn.
Okay,
You can hear some like murmur voices.
He will, in a quick pace, get excited and go towards it because they should have at least something, if not a bucket he could use to fill up with fresh water to clean himself. So he will go towards it. Hopefully his nose has stopped bleeding now.
Yeah.
And he will go and enter the bar or inn and try to find someone who looks in charge and ask them desperately for a bucket of water or a bucket or something, somewhere to clean his mess, because he's a mess and he hates it.
Sure. You went to the inn, and it's quite warm, toasty, probably due to the fireplace that is at the back of the building, where a pot of some bubbling liquid seems to be cooking. It smells delightful. Sketched around are various tables with stools, not chairs. In repairs, just like some of the tables are missing chunks of wood, things like that. The decorations are interesting. A variety of broken blades hang on the walls. Manning the counter, or sleeping at the counter, rather, is a elven man with brown hair, tanned skin, simple clothing.
Gillie goes straight up to the sleeping man, is on there, and he's just like, "Why, hello, you handsome devil!" Because he rolled a natural 20 on if he thinks this person is hot or not.
Oh God, I forgot about that.
And so he's like quickly tapping fiercely on the shoulders, like, "Hello, hello, hello, handsome, handsome, handsome man."
Is that the guy who wakes up with with a bit of a start? Like jumps up with a bit of a start. Huh? What?
Gillie is all up in this guy's business, like, "Yes, handsome. You see," and he will be very like obvious about his flirtings, and it's like, "You see," and he will rub his hands over his bloody chest. I'm dirty. Do you mind helping me clean?"
There's just silence. It's just like stunned silence. I can see that. Well, there's a washing area out back. Would that work for you?
"Do you mind showing me?" He does this like little flirty body movement. His eyes sparkling.
Sure. It's just like you get the impression that this guy's not very often. He has no idea he is being flirted with.
I love it so much.
Follow me, someone says. He comes round from the counter, showing that this guy is a bit taller than you.
Oh, my
Roughly
man's
about
and tall too.
roughly about 5'9".
To Gillie, he is a tower, and he's fawning.
He's got some obvious muscle on him, but he's not built, so to speak. So he comes around the counter and shows you to a simple door, opening it, and it does lead to back outside. But he shows you to like a somewhat closed off area where towels seem to be hanging on the wood to either dry or just ready to be used. Like there's a simple tray of like really simple bars of soap. It's like you pick one up, you sniff it. It's just the smell of soap. It's not anything fancy or like that. And there's like stools with buckets of water next to them. A quick look at them from the big lantern light that's been hanged up shows that the water has been changed recently and it's clean. Right, I will leave you to it.
Oh, don't you want to stay and help? As he starts to untie his shirt.
I don't think you need my help. He says,
Well, I'll find you later then, and he'll go in and shut the door and start to get clean.
well, no, there's no door. This is an open area. It's like you've just got these wooden walls in strategic locations where it gives the illusion of privacy. But yeah, this is
Oh,
not
I
a
thought you-
room, so to speak.
I thought you said that you would open the door. Okay. Either which way,
He-
he'll go in and, like, as he's walking, starts to take off his shirt as he's walking. Because he's just like, I gotta get clean.
Yeah, no, he had opened a door, but it had opened a door from the inn back outside. So it's like you're at the back of the inn.
Okay. Well, he will quickly get to work of getting the blood out of his shirt the best he possibly can. And clean himself up. And bathe at the same time because he's like, I need cleanliness, and scrub himself clean.
Yeah, I mean, you get clean easily enough.
Then I scrub fiercely on the shirt. Get clean, get clean.
I like it. Everyone's just passed out back at the camp.
And Gillie's just like, I must have cleanliness. I must have clean. The funny shit is that they all let me go by myself.
I'm more looking at Encat's last comment. Anyway.
So once Gillie has deemed he's cleaned it the best it's going to get for what he has, he will rifle through his backpack and get on his costume because he wants dry clothes, and it's the one that he originally wore with all the belts and buckles, and
yeah,
he looks like he's ready to perform in a very fancy place because that's what he originally got it for, was for his higher end customers who would want him to perform. But he's going all out because there's a very hot elf, and he needs to impress the elf as well. Because natural 20! So once he's gotten everything together, he'll go back in, and is the elf sleeping again, or is the elf awake?
Now the elf is just trying, just trying to keep himself busy. It's really quiet. You're the only one there.
He will gladly hop up and wrap his arms around one of the elves, saying, "I'm back and I'm clean. Did you miss me? I missed you."
I barely know you.
Oh, with the pretty face that you have.
Uh,
We'll be faster friends. Maybe more. He does this like little finger wave up towards him.
It's just like you watch as this red flush creeps over his cheeks. I it's just like started silence from this guy.
So, question 1, how much for a room? 2, I might not get a room because my spider is waiting for me. And 3, how do you think townspeople would act with our giant pet spider walking into town? Well, she's not really giant. She's still a baby, but she's gonna get big. But she's beautiful, and she has a symbol, and she's beautiful. And he's just being like, his arms are also going out as he keeps saying beautiful, just to give how beautiful the spider is.
I can answer these one of those questions, I think. A room is 10 copper. Is
That's an
that
amazing price.
as for how people would react to a spider, it might stir up some of the old retired adventurers in
Okay, so
town.
do you have any paper so I can make flyers and put them up around saying there'd be friendly spider coming through town later today? And
No, I don't have any paper.
okay, well, I might have to go around in the morning singing about the great tales of Webby, the beautiful spider.
The guy just says okay. It's just like he's just like he looks more tired handling this bundle of energy.
And this is Gillie tired.
Yeah.
He's like, pretty face, I don't want to leave you, but I really should get back to my spider, but pretty face. And I'm clean. Thank you. Thank you for letting me use your washroom, because that was just a disaster. You know, I was praying, and then I summoned a phoenix, and then my nose started bleeding blood, and I've had a day. You sure you don't want to keep me company?
I'm sure.
You're lost. He like fixes his outfit to be more like alluring, I guess, what I'd be looking for. He's like, fine then. Just know, if you see people, just tell them a friendly, very loving, very adorable spider will be coming through town. Not to attack the spider. Do you have any, like, gold or yellow cloth that's very large by chance? Or anyone in town you know would have very large yellow cloth?
The silken feather might.
It's too late to go there now. I'm going. Fine. He goes over to try to find this door.
It's just like if you had turned around now, then all you just see is this elven guy just face plant the counter. It's just like what? It's just like, what is my life? I was like, what the hell did he just see? Let him witness to.
He's gonna wake up in the morning and be like, this was just all a bad dream. It was all a bad dream.
Yeah.
So now Gillie's gonna wander around town trying to find where this silken whatever is.
The silken
What time
feather.
silken feather? What
It's
time of
nim.
night is it?
Time of day?
Time of night.
Time of
Evening,
night.
night.
It's near midnight.
Near midnight. Okay, so he's like super exhausted, but he's like, I gotta get this yellow cloth. He's now delusionally tired, and he's like, I gotta get yellow cloth so everybody knows it's a good spider. Got a good spider. Maybe some cute clothes for charity, and then sleep. Yes. Oh, I can't forget to pray. Gotta pray too. So he's gonna. Let's see.
I assume he's muttering to himself as he's like walking.
Yes, and he. Let's see. That would probably be what to try to find shit. Other
Investigation.
investigation. Okay, 8, 9. He's apparently super exhausted. He only got a 10.
Yeah, you don't find it. At least not at the moment. It's just like you're so tired, and it's just like you've had hell of a day. It's like you take note that what seems to be like the market square, and you think, yeah, it might be around here, but it's just covering your mouth trying to stop a yawn.
Okay, he will, because he can't find it. He will unwillingly go back to the group, more for the fact that there's a super pretty face at the end. But he's like, no, I told Webby I'd be back. I can't break a promise to the spider baby. And so he'll make himself back and then flop next to Webby and curl up and sleep. Oh, while he's walking back, he will pray. He's like, it's a prayer to go tonight, Serenity. Thank you for all the help. Didn't think you were gonna send a phoenix, but good on you. And he's talking out loud as he's walking, but mind you. Okay, so he's talking, he's walking, he's sending a prayer to go, and he's just like, I didn't expect you to send a phoenix. I was thinking more of a bubble of protection, or maybe just like +1 to me and my friend's stats. Just, it's cool we homies, but calm your tits a little bit. Your glorious godly tits.
Somewhere you get like the feeling of indignation. It's just like, hang on a sec.
But he's exhausted at this point, so he's just a little delusional, but he got to get his prayer in. And he gets back, he's still talking as he's entering, and then he just falls flat on his face next to Webby and sleeps. Mid-sentence.
It's just like you get the impression that your god just tells you, go to bed.
He just passes the fuck out next to Webby.
When Kiira heard that Gillie returned, she kind of like opened a bit of her eyes, saw that he's back, and then she would take a better sleeping position and just fall asleep. If she was napping just earlier.
Alyn is keeping watch and would have also been slightly on guard when he arrived, but then heard him and realized it was him and calmed back down again. And it's just keeping watch. That she's tired.
In her sleep, Knell would notice Gillie and just pull him close like a teddy bear. Because she is also curled up next to Webby.
Kiira would probably at some point of the night swap with Alyn by taking watch.
Okay.
And Knell would be happy to do that as well, but if we do 3 watches, then Knell could take the last watch. She wouldn't mind.
Yeah, it will be 3 watches to go through the rest of the night, into about 6 in the morning, roughly. So, Alyn, could you roll perception for me for first watch?
How's if I unmute the right one? Wow. That's a 2. And then she's sleepy. This is why.
Would be
What am
surprised if
I-
she fell asleep.
Which one am I looking for?
Perception.
She got a 5.
Nothing happens on your watch. It passes by. Gillie is noisy. Nothing really interesting happens.
Yay. When she gets taken over, she's going to fall fast asleep quite fast.
It's like you were once awake, you are now not.
She'll, part of her mind will still probably keep a lookout, but so she's light sleeping while also falling fast asleep.
She's
Okay.
probably dreaming of watching over.
Yeah.
Dreaming of keeping watch.
That's something sounds like Alyn would do, actually. Who's taking second watch?
Kiira.
Okay, roll perception.
Yeah, and my modifier is 0. So that's a 5.
5?
Yeah.
Nothing happens on your watch. It is all quiet. You see Knell snuggle Gillie like a teddy bear. It's fine. It made us all laugh. Yep, nothing interesting happens on your watch. Who's taking last?
That would be me.
Okay, you wake up with for your watch with an armful of Gillie.
Pat him on the head. I'm sure I have my bedroll blanket at the very least. I'll move that to Gillie and then get up and probably do some light exercises, some practice for combat as I'm keeping an eye out and an ear.
Okay. So as you are doing your exercises, you're keeping watch, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Like it's
Roll.
really light, low stress exercises, like no quick movements or anything like that.
Sure. Roll perception.
I rolled a 19 plus stuff. 22.
22. That's good. Okay. You are like as you're like doing like a quick like just like a light jog. It's like you're almost like it's not even a jog. It's just like a little bounce in your step. It's just as you like going around this campsite, this barn. You do like a quick head count, and it's like Kiira, Alyn, Salvya, Gillie, maybe Charity's gone. Charity's missing.
Oh shit. I will go shake Kiira real quick. Kiira! Kiira! I know you just got to sleep, Kiira, but I need to talk to you.
Oh, what?
You were the last one keeping watch, yes? When did Charity leave?
Charity's gone? Would I
Charity is
have
gone.
would I have noticed? Was she still there when I was doing watch?
She was still there.
Okay.
He was still there, sorry.
Yeah. He was still sleeping when I was doing watch.
I didn't see them leave. I was keeping a very good eye out, I promise.
We should probably start looking for them.
Yes, they're very small. Should we wake the others, do you think? It was a very long run yesterday, but
I think we could wake up Salvia. She is good with the kid and didn't get that tired yesterday. And has slept the whole night.
alright. Alright, then I'll creep over to Salvia and shake her awake. Salvia!
Huh? What's happening?
Charity is gone.
Wait. Charity, but he was right here. What happened?
We're going to go look for him. I didn't see him leave. Kiira said that she still saw him here, but now he is not here. So, we're going to go look for him. Would you like to come?
Yes, yes, of course.
All right.
And she takes the blanket with her in case they find him.
I think it would be a good idea to let the others rest, and we can let them know what happens when we get back. It was a very long jog. They are very tired.
Jog.
Well, it didn't bother Knell.
It didn't bother Melanie. That was a jog.
Or Salvia.
Okay, okay. But
Uh,
if we don't find him soon, we should wake them up.
That is a good idea. Yes. Okay.
um,
I will check. Back along where we came from, and you two decide where you want to look. Okay.
Kiira would probably first check if the sword is still there.
Hmm.
The sword is beside Salvia.
Oh no.
They
Well,
probably
knowing that. Oh shit.
I am so
she
worried right now.
If Kiira points out that the sword is still there before Nell starts out the door, she's gonna stop and be like, "Oh no, he was very adamant about holding on to that sword. He would not leave without it. Oh no! Ah!"
Kiira would probably just kind of move it, like point at it, like shit. Then she would go.
I have something I would like to say, but I would like to let Encat finish.
Yeah. Then after she would try to go outside the building and kind of see if there's any tracks or anything that you could point out where the charity would have gone or their
Roll
kidnapper.
survival for me.
Yeah, that was more or less what I wanted to do as well. So could I
Yeah, roll.
help Kiira look
Yeah.
for tracks?
Yeah.
So that would be
Salvia,
advantage.
meanwhile,
Hmm?
Either
sorry.
you get advantage or we both roll. Which would you like to do? Or I suppose that would be Jem's call.
Either one, it wouldn't matter too much. But what were you saying, Scarlet?
Uh, mm, that Salvia could look around the space they are in disbelief, like checking if he's really gone. Like, when there's nothing there, but you still look around to make sure.
Also, I want to check and see if there are any signs that anybody besides us came into the place.
Okay, that would come under your perception anyway.
Alright, I'll go ahead and roll then.
Do I roll too?
You can roll perception to check around if you want to.
21.
1.
Kiira got a 4.
Kiira's still slightly
Let's
tired.
Yes.
I got 18.
18 and 21. Okay, yeah. Salvia's quick to discover, yeah, Charity is nowhere in this barn. It's like without disturbing the others, you looked around and saw, yep, that Charity's not here. There's no indication, like, if he left or anything like that. Like, nothing seems to be disturbed as far as you can discern. Knell. You can't see any tracks, and you can't hear Charity either. At least not anywhere close. However, you do pick up a scent.
Is it Charity that I'm smelling or somebody else?
You definitely smell Charity. And it's leading into the woods. However, as soon as you get to that tree like the edge of those trees, another scent like steps over it almost, like trying to hide it. It's much more like the smell of sulfur, ash. But there's no indication of it's burning.
My fur will bristle, and I will run back to the little place where we were staying, and I will shout everyone awake. Everybody, wake up! Charity was taken!
Gillie will shoot up like a rocket, dazed and sleepy. My child is missing? Was my base right here? Wait, there was another child!
Ow.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Gillie will get up, make sure his backpack is still on because he actually never took that off. He was like,
What
way?
what did he say in the non-shouting way? Because I
Oh.
did not understand a word that was just said.
He was like, the child is missing, and then looks over and sees Webby. He's like, oh, but Webby's, wait, there was another child!
Like, yes. I followed the smell, and I went out, and there was another smell. I'm pretty sure that Charity was taken away. We need to go quickly.
Gillie will start to run in whatever direction Knell pointed. And when I mean run,
she's
full
grabbed
sprint
up her
run.
pack, and she's running back towards the direction that she had smelled that too, and she's going to continue to follow the smell if she can.
Okay. So two of you were sprinted off.
Kiira would
Hopefully
have
Webby
followed
is
them.
following behind.
You're probably very confused.
Alyn had woken up like, what the heck is going on? Sitting up quickly and looking around. Like, what happened? Before getting up and I don't know.
Salvia
Okay,
will
so-
be
Following his
Kiira would have probably followed to the after Knell, and as she went back to alert the others that the charity was taken, she would probably kind of study the tree and surroundings to see if there's any tracks or any sign of magic or anything, or if
Okay, roll investigation for me.
okay. That's a 17.
17. Right. You hover, as Knell retreats back to the barn to retrieve the others. And the longer you're looking, see if any indication Charity came this way. Anything obvious, a track to follow, or maybe a scrap of cloth. You instead find something else. Scoured into the bark of the trees are 4 claw marks, very sharp, due to how deep wood. You're not sure what kind of creature made these. Whatever it is, though, not friendly.
Would there be
And
any?
Salvia's response?
Hmm?
What was Salvia saying before all this was happening? Because I heard Scarlet pipe up. I just wanted to make sure.
at this point. I'm
There we
sure.
go. Hello.
Hello.
There. Okay, what was the last thing people heard?
Huh?
I think I
For what?
heard everything.
Claw marks.
I
Yeah.
It's
yes,
whatever it was
the
not
claw.
friendly.
Mm. Okay. So yeah, you discover those just as like Gillie runs past you, and so does Knell, with the others following behind.
Completely left my bedroll, by the way. I'm in a hurry.
Yeah,
There's
aren't we
no
all?
chance to pack up.
The claw. There was just 4 claw marks.
Mm-hmm.
Was there any other like signs of a fight around or anything?
No.
No. Probably when the others come back, Kiira would probably show them the marks, like some kind of creature or something that has turned into a creature took the kid.
Alright, do I recognize what kind of creature might have made those claw marks?
Roll for nature.
Gillie is not stopping. He is still running.
Fair enough.
I
Weird
like to
eye?
know things. Let's see, I rolled a 14, but nature is one of the things I have advantage on. Oh, that's a 19. I don't have a plus anything on nature. It's just straight 19.
Okay, straight 19. Yeah. Those claw marks bring back memories. They remind you of the time when you were a much smaller kitten. Possibly around 4 years old. You were out hunting with your father. And you had gotten separated because something shiny distracted you. And something had pounced upon you. You remember pain, screaming, and your father comes charging out the woods, his sword, fighting this large, four-legged creature, as dark as the night, vine like tail, blinding white eyes, teeth that so sharp. It's you've still got a vague scar from know this creature, and you really don't want to fight this thing if it has
Well,
charity.
sorry everybody, Charity's dead.
What?
Um, your father gave this creature a name, as you didn't, as when you described this beast to a townsperson, they said no such thing exists. But you know what you saw, and so did your father. A pair of you called it a molar.
Uh,
What would
oh,
I
shit.
roll for to see, because Gillie's still booking it, to
Mm-hmm.
see signs of charity or
Investigation.
Can I roll too?
Sure.
I only got a 13.
Jane. Yeah, the deeper you're heading in, the less signs you're seeing of like disturbed bushes, just twigs snapped. It's like you're losing that trail.
I
He stops it.
Uh, could you spell what this beast was for me? I'm
Yeah.
trying to Google it, and I'm pretty sure what I'm seeing is not what you said. Alright, but I'm just gonna go off of your description then, and I'm going to be kind of terrified, and I'm still gonna look around, but this time I'm gonna look for signs of blood and death. I am at this point almost entirely convinced that Charity is dead.
Did I say I was following them? I think I did. But I know what this is either. Did I? Wow, probably not. What was the thing needed again?
Do what?
They were following.
They were
She-
following a scent trail of charities that got covered by the smell of ash and sulfur.
I know. But Alyn was following.
Yes.
Would she know what this is?
No, what is what?
From the thing is.
What, the claw marks?
Yeah. So I know I had to roll, and then what did I add?
That would be nature.
Nature. 13.
Yeah, you got no idea what this thing is.
Okay.
Question. I'm not sure
Answer.
if it's perfect. I'm not sure if it's a relevant thing in D&D or not, so I need to ask because each person has their own specific key signature normally. If Gillie were to meditate on Charity's specific key, would he be able to locate Charity that way?
Is that a skill, or?
I was gonna say, is that a monk thing?
No, because normally when key is referenced in other genres of either anime or books, normally people have their own specific key signature. And so I was curious if that was a thing here in D&D or not. I've never played a monk. Okay.
I know that when you attack something, you get the ability later to extract aspect by reading something's key. So there's that, but I don't think you can just feel out for a key.
Yeah.
Okay. That's why I was asking, because I wasn't quite sure.
It's fine. Okay.
He will still meditate on trying to figure out the location, though.
Mm-hmm.
Communicate.
I say after we do Scarlet's investigation, you guys meet up with Gillie, who has stopped.
I am looking for blood and death, by the way, because I'm pretty sure the mauler killed kid. Don't know why Charity went outside, but I'm pretty sure a mauler got him, and I'm pretty sure he did. I'm gonna look for his body.
Okay, roll perception, Hickory, for looking for a body, blood, or tattered clothing, or anything indicating attacks.
I rolled a 2.
I know, I'm getting to that. Salvia, you find more obvious evidence of Charity's trail. As you come up towards Gillie is. The worrying thing is under Gillie's butt. An indent in the ground, a track. Something pretty heavy. Yes, Gillie is currently sat on it.
You think I would have noticed such a thing?
He was very intensely looking for key, for a sign. Yeah. He's sitting on it.
So he's sitting in something?
No, he's not. He sat on essentially something like like a track. You know, like an animal track. He's sat
Like
print.
feet
Like,
print.
move your butt.
Yes, it's a footprint.
Yeah, footprint. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, she will be like um gently, but without letting him move much, move him to the side so he doesn't. How to say this? I'm too sleepy for words.
No, it's fine. It's just
Am
the
I?
image I've got in my brain.
She's like, I don't want you to erase the footprint. I want you to move, but I don't want to give you the option to decide to move without thinking and erase the footprint. If that makes sense.
It's just like you're gently pushing Gillie
He
to
doesn't.
one side.
Gillie is
He doesn't.
small and light. You could probably easily pick him up.
She doesn't want him
Yeah,
to
I was
destroy
saying
the
if I was
She's
there, then
like,
I would absolutely pick him up.
All of you have
she's
met
like,
up with Gillie now, so yes, you can see what Salvia is doing.
she's like,
Yeah,
sorry, Gilly,
I'll
but
pick up.
I think I see something there.
Like, move your butt and pick him up.
So
Gillie, you are knocked out of your meditation by being lifted.
Oh, why hello there.
Just hands under his
Right there.
arms, picking him up like a small child and looking under his butt. Because Salvia was very obviously trying to see something that was there.
Yeah. Under Gillie's butt, is paw print of some sort that is very familiar to Knell. The others, much.
Guys. I think Charity is dead.
what? You can joke about that.
No, I know what this thing is. I've seen it before. I guess it likes 4-year-olds. I think if he found Charity, then Charity is probably dead.
She will be she will look totally horrified, but she will shake her head like vehemently, like, no, that can't be true. Until we find him, we can't know. I won't stop looking for him.
Okay. I will go with you. I am stronger now. It cannot hurt me now like it did before. I will find it, I guess. And I will try to follow the tracks.
Kiira would just
Are
look.
you still holding Gillie?
Yes, more like a security blanket now, hugged to my chest, tight like a teddy bear.
He's going to try to snake and wiggle his way out and be like, my child is not dead. I will find him.
Okay, I'll let you down.
Kiira would have looked to the direction that the footprint was going and start just walking that way, trying to see if there's any other tracks, and just continuing forward.
Mm-hmm.
Just gonna
Gillie
gnaw on a
starts
thumbnail between my
shouting.
teeth as I go.
Gillie starts shouting Charity's name.
Gilly, no! If you shout, then what if it gets startled or spooked? And if Charity is alive, maybe it would kill him.
He continues to shout.
He's probably dead anyway.
Don't say that.
You don't know. You haven't seen this thing. This thing is got like these long teeth. They're like little knives in its mouth, and he's got these eyes, stark white eyes, and it's black like night. And it was so big, and it's got these big claws, and I'm just gonna go off describing it as much as I can in detail to everybody.
Kiira's gone.
I'm walking and talking. Also trying to look for tracks. I'm not paying total attention for these tracks, though. I'm pretty sure the kid's dead.
Gillie will call out Charity's name and then stop and then wait a few seconds to see if he hears anything.
I suppose you're doing this as you're following these supposed tracks.
Yes.
Okay.
Also trying to see if I see any probably hoof prints of Charity.
Nope, no hoof prints.
So would I roll to see if I could hear Charity? Any sign of Charity's voice?
Perception.
I hear nothing because I rolled a 2. Perception, so it would be a 5. I hear nothing.
You just hear me rambling about this thing that probably killed the kid.
I'm just like, no.
Scarlet tried to say something.
You never shush when somebody tells you to shush.
I got a 14 for hearing the kid, but then I have to add something. I don't know what.
Investigation?
For hearing the
Might be
kid?
17. Oh, if she's listening for anything. Also, I got a 14, then I would have to add something.
What are
I'm
you
not sure
trying
what I
to?
need.
What are you trying to do?
He was listening. He was shouting and listening, and I was also listening, seeing if I heard anything.
Oh, it would be perception.
Perception. 17.
It's like you can hear something. I don't know what it is though.
I'm guessing in the distance.
Yeah.
Would I need to roll in order to try to follow the track?
These tracks are pretty obvious. You found one. You're looking for the exact same kind of marking.
Okay.
So, you're fine. You're just following these tracks.
Is it some of the sound? Is it something that would sound totally out of place?
No, not particularly.
Is it something that you would draw attention to?
Don't know. Do you draw attention to it?
She might make it or tell them to shut up for a second, so she could get a better listen.
Unlike when Gillie told Knell to shush, if Alyn says to shush, Knell will shut up.
She probably tells them to shush so she can listen. See if she could hear anything else really quick.
Now here's the question. Gillie shush?
Yes, he will shush, and he'll do this whole arm thing and look over at Knell like, really? You shut up for me?
I'll stick out my tongue at Gillie.
They're not having a silent conversations with facial feature and mouth gestures.
Do I hear anything else?
You can hear the rustling of leaves, which isn't too unusual for this type of environment, given it's A, a forest, B, it's night, and C, yeah, there's probably animals living here. So it's not out of place, but it's much... Whatever's making that rustling noise, it's much bigger than your average nocturnal animal. Hear like the vague hissing almost. It's like just breathing.
So she would probably look. Oh, she would probably look in that direction, and be like, or focus in on that direction where she heard it, and try and see while staying back, kind of. So you want to get attacked.
So you want to get closer but remain unseen.
Kind of, yes. While motioning the others to wait a second.
Alright, roll
What time
for
of morning
stealth.
is it?
It's probably really early. It was the third
like-
watch.
Yeah, it's like incredibly early. So you're talking
Probably still dark, given it's autumn.
yeah, so you're talking about 5 in the morning?
Did we get our full rest, long rest?
Yes.
Okay.
Kiira would follow Alyn.
Yeah. Alyn, please, Alyn,
Alien.
whichever one. Please roll for stealth.
Ooh, sweet. 19 plus 3. 21? 19, 20.
21.
22.
22.
22. You are invisible.
Do I roll?
Oh no, she's in one of the trees!
You have
Well, I
become
think we're
one
up in
with
a
this
forest,
forest.
so I
You
think
have
we're up
become-
and get used to this type
Yeah.
setting. So
You
I knew
have
it. She was a tree person.
Noticing the shift in
become-
atmosphere, I will draw my sword and shield.
Yeah. Kira's following, I think I heard.
Yeah. Also,
Okay, roll for stealth as well.
yeah.
Um,
Uh,
I'm gonna throw that squeaker in the bin.
23.
23. Yep. It's just like you just merge in with those shadows. It's like, oh, you don't see me.
Oh no, it's contagious!
So yeah. What is Gillie, Knell, Salvya?
I am standing at the ready, some distance back, because I know I'm not as stealthy as they are. Wait, no. Actually, my stealth is really fucking good. I'm gonna go with them.
Sure.
Salvia is
I'm gonna hide that squeaker in a minute, Tyson.
Gillie will cautiously stay back because I remembered he's wearing his costume that is covered in little bells. He will stay back. Because every step he makes, he's making a little ting, ting,
oh,
ting. Because he's covered in bells. He's wearing his like
I
very fancy costume with covered in little bells. So he will cautiously just stay back, keeping an eye out on his surroundings, but he will stay back because he can't stealth at the moment.
Yeah, I would not recommend it. If you've got little bells on you, then yeah, no. Stealth is not gonna be your friend.
You can stay with Webby. I'm going up along with them. I rolled for stealth. It's 14 plus 6, so 20.
Yeah, that's fine. Salvia, are you following or are you staying?
following.
Okay, stealthy, please.
I'm going to look for the. Okay, I got a 19.
Okay, you are
Nice.
stealthing as well. Some good stealth rolls. Okay, we're gonna go with Alyn, first from their respective, as first are in the lead. Alyn, as you creep through a grove of some bushes near, you see through a small clearing. In front of you is a large creature. It's quite dark in this clearing still. But from what you can see, along this thing's back are 3 vine-like appendages.
Oh no, I know what this is.
One looks like it's got teeth. Like 2 of these things have got. Looks like it has teeth, just glinting. The other seems to be a tail of some sort, maybe. And it's just like just currently rubbing its head against a tree. Currently.
okay, 2 things. Do I know what this is, and do I see Charity?
Okay, roll for nature, and no, you don't see Charity.
I know for absolute certainty what this
18.
is.
18. Yeah,
18.
you've now got a clear picture of this thing. And yeah, Knell's descriptions were not far off at the damage this do.
You know the funny part about it? This is one of the creatures I was looking at that I might want to mount as one day. I don't think I'd be able to get this though. Not with the backstory you just gave me.
Yeah, you know what Knell had told you, but what the description from so long ago. Yeah, this thing is not not pleasant. It's mostly territorial, which is kind of a good thing in this case, but also kind of bad. You still don't know where Charity is. However, you do know the name of this. You do know the beast, and a mola is an accurate description, considering what it does to its prey. But this is Displacer Beast. This thing is deadly.
Yep. I'm putting up an image.
By all means.
Oh, thank you, because I'm like, I have no idea what this looks like.
It's cool.
Oh.
Yeah.
It is very cool. Got a lot of legs.
And she probably holds up a hand, like, so she probably saw the other ones following her, at least for a second. Since they've all apparently just blended in, and telling them to kind of stay back since she knows what it is.
This creature is very territorial. But it doesn't seem to have spotted you, let alone smelt you. So you're safe at this current moment.
She could speak to animals, kind of. Would this count? And would it try to attack her if she tried?
Displacer beasts. I'm pretty certain. Yeah, they're monstrosities. They're not animals.
Okay.
I would also like to know if I can smell blood.
You can't smell any blood. You okay?
Okay.
Positive at least.
Because she can't talk to it, I'm not sure what she'll do after this. I'll wait for the others. And she'll hold up her hand and like, wait, without saying anything, because there's a big giant, maybe not giant, not sure how big it is.
How big is
it?
Large monstrosity. It's large. It's about the size of Webby.
There's this big thing that wants to attack us in front of us.
I really would have liked to get this as a mount. God damn it! But now I'm scared of it.
Well, I mean, you
could
could become your feared if you wanted to. Apparently, it squeaks.
I could.
Instead of purring, it squeaks.
It has a broken voice box.
Oh, yeah. The moment Knell sees it, she's gonna freeze up and just grip her weapons really gosh
Essentially,
darn
that's what
tight.
a Displacer Beast is. It's a giant cat. It's just a.
My one cat did squeak because her voice box is broken, so it could work.
It's a giant cat with tentacles on its back that are tipped with teeth. And if I recall correctly, they can teleport.
They can.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, so she's definitely warning the other ones to kind of stay back and not draw its attention.
Yeah. While they are all stealthily doing this, when was the last time it was pointed out that there was a charity footprint? Hoof print.
Right near the start.
There just was the charity smell by the tree where this creature blended in.
Pretty much as soon as we hit the forest, I lost Charity, and it was all Displacer Beast.
then because Gillie doesn't want to go forward to make noise, he will either tell Webby she can stay here and wait for the others, or follow along, because he will backtrack as quietly as possible and try to see back at the beginning if he can find any more tracks, just in case they were overlooked.
Sure. I would like you to roll stealth with disadvantage.
Oh no! I'm so sorry, people. I'm gonna murder us all.
And obviously, Hickory, you've got control of Webby. Does
15
Webby go?
is my stealth. 'Cause I
Uh,
got a 14 and a 16. 14, 15, no, wait, 14, 15, 16. So, wait, 17.
I think that I will roll a d10, and if it's higher than a 5, Webby will go with Gillie. Lower than 5, and it will actually she will actually come over to see what we're doing.
Sure.
What did I miss? It cut out for me.
I rolled a 6. She's gonna follow Gillie.
All right. So yeah, even with disadvantage, you stealth your way past. Obviously, being an entertainer means you're light on your feet.
Good thing I weigh nothing.
Mhm.
Okay, so I get back, and would it be survival, perception?
Yeah, you get back to where the original hoof print was. And I need you to roll survival to have it.
Oh, yay. Oh, natural 20!
Ow.
Nice.
Sorry. So technically
one.
23, but
Yes.
a natural 20.
Yes. 23. Okay. You look around and you uncover more hoof prints. Definitely charities. And they are going in the direction of like where you found the first paw print. Is under your butt. But it's the way these hoof prints are made that has you confused. They go from straight line to like swerving. It's like somebody gave Charity a bunch of alcohol and then told them to walk straight.
Who gave my
It's not.
child alcohol?
It's not happening.
Can I tell if these were made to look like Charity's hoof prints? Would that be covered under my survival?
Oh yeah,
With
that
my
would be
23?
20. With that 23, yes. With the 23, you can tell these are actually Charity's hoof prints. But it's quite interesting as you follow them along. In this quite swaying pattern, you watch as these little footprints, still Charities, get bigger and bigger, and then they begin to morph, change shape, and then you're back at the original first paw print.
I run straight to the group. It's Charity! It's Charity! It's Charity! He's a werecat! It's Charity!
And I was
Ow,
waiting.
what the heck did you just say? Because that really hurt.
Sorry, I really should lower my voice, but it's
You're
how
gonna
I am.
get.
So
You need to
Yeah.
I will re-say it. I will run up to the group once I get back to the original point and say, "It is Charity. It is Charity. He's a werecat or something. It is Charity." And I'm full force.
While they're all being silent, watching this thing, and probably hissing at him to shut up.
Is this something that's loud and sudden enough to startle me? Because if so, Knell will scream.
Yeah, it would be. You went from dead silent and stealthing to suddenly you got Gillie yelling out behind you. However,
she
Alyn,
will
you're still
scream
staring
and poof and
at this
jump.
displaced beast, and yeah, all this racket has drawn its attention, and it's like snarling at you. It's these vine-like things are whipping round. It's noticed you. Uh-oh.
She's just like, ah, crap.
Oh no, no. Gillie is going to do the best, smartest move ever in mankind or monster, what creature kind, whatever kind they are, and he will literally run up, book it, and try to tackle this in a hug and be like, "It's my baby, Gary!"
The fuck?
Haley's just watching him go past him like, oh, he's dead.
Wasn't Charity still a bit hurt? So is that cat being also
They got a long rest. Everyone's back up to full health.
Yeah, that's true.
And I had healed them before we all went running, or at least partly.
Totally. Okay, you're gonna run and tackle this displacer beast. Right.
In a hug, because it's my
Yeah.
baby Charity, or at least what Gillie's assuming is Charity.
Oh,
Alright, roll
would
for
like to-
strength.
If at all possible, I would also like to run after Gillie. I don't know if I'm fast enough to do that, but I want to.
Gillie's got a bit of a head start on you, but you can try and lunge for him.
No, I don't want to
I
catch
gotta-
him. I just want to run with him.
I got a
Like, be
14.
there to impose disadvantage if I need to, basically.
Sure.
so
What was it?
A 14 for just it's not really a grapple. It's more of a hug.
Still comes on grapple, I'm afraid.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like a baby grapple.
I rolled a 15, but I have a -1 on my strength. So you said anything strength based is a -1. What am I talking about? So 14.
Yeah. You go through what seems to be like a shimmer, and the creature's actually next to you. And it's like hiss and snarling.
You don't hiss at your new mommy. I love you, and just because you would change into a beautiful giant kitty cat doesn't mean anything. He's just like looking sternly at this beast thing.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be. I would like to be there next to it with my shield held up and shaking. You're like, what are you doing?
And it's Charity!
How do you know?
I went back and looked at the footprints, and then the footprints got all drunkenly, and then it turned into the paw. And so this is Charity, and I know it for 100 facts of that it is truth. This is my baby.
Well, Charity is mad.
Charity is beautiful.
Yeah.
I assume there's not a lot of
this-
time to have much more than that.
Yeah, no, there's not. You see one of these extra appendages, and it comes around to make a strike, but it like bounces off Knell's shield.
I'll yelp.
Joe's like, Charity, we are nice to these people. We just saved you, and I summoned a phoenix for you. I'm trying to talk to this cat. Do I have to roll anything because I'm trying to talk?
Does
Persuasion?
Charity even understand what's being said right now?
Probably. Probably not.
Yeah, I don't think persuasion would work if she can't understand what's being said.
I got a 13.
so good.
Yeah, what are the other two thinking that were following me before I put my hand up and Gillie came running?
Yeah, let's check in with everyone else.
Kiira is rather shocked and still in hiding.
Yeah.
She's like, "What the fuck, Gillie? Are you like what happened? Are like you're completely have you completely lost your mind?" And she's just waiting to see what happens, staying hidden.
What is up with the music? I think rhythm's busted.
How about Salvia? What is she doing?
She could be also quite surprised, but seeing Gillie so sure about it, she will step a bit forward and call Charity, trying to ask them if they are okay and what happened, even if they don't know if they are conscious. But she's more worried than anything, so her first instinct is to call for them.
Oh shit. I am gonna be torn because I want to protect everybody, but now Salvia is stepping out too. It might be charity, but it's obviously not charity right now.
Yeah, but
Did my
she's
foot
also in baby. Baby, she has
Oh,
to be sure the baby's okay.
I didn't actually hear what Spazzy rolled.
Oh, I rolled a 14, I think it was, on my persuasion.
14. Okay, you see the creature hesitate, but it's just like snarls. Uh, and like being this close to it, you can actually see around their chest is actually the sheath where the great sword rests.
Gillie will point this out if he noticed, and he was like, see, it's my charity baby. Charity,
okay,
you left
Knell
her
is
sword.
convinced. Okay, kid's not dead. Does anybody know a charm spell of some kind?
Yeah, but apparently is a displacer beast.
Charms or sleeps or magic? Can you do that?
You will not put magic on my baby. Any of you hurt a hair on my beautiful child's head, and you will have to deal with me. And I will once again try to go up to Charity and be like, you left your sword. Why did you leave your sword? Did anyone grab his sword? Did anyone grab it?
Nope.
I'm gonna grab Gillie at least and try to hold him back.
Ouch.
Keep him behind my
Oh,
shield.
no.
Most stuff is still at the barn, so yes, it's there.
Yeah, the sword was
I will
left.
try to evade Hickory's grasp.
Should I roll for grapple?
Uh, would mine be a acrobatics or dexterity?
For
Trying
I'm
to
trying
get
to
out of the
grab
way.
Gillie and keep him behind my shield, and he's trying
it'll
to
be
evade.
acrobatics.
You have to beat an 11 because I rolled
What
an
do I
8.
roll? What do I roll
Acrobatics,
for? Acrobatics?
I think.
I rolled a 4 plus
Oh
6,
no.
10.
I just evaded. I got an 11.
Damn it. Why do I always roll so low when I'm trying to grab you? My acrobatics is fucking plus 6!
That's horrible. So I'm
It's the
once again
will.
going up to the beast and being like, Charity, what is wrong? Sweetie, my love. I will not let them hurt you. I love you.
Okay.
Kiira, as Gillie did mention that, okay, this beast might be charity. She's not completely convinced, but she decides to go back and get his sword if
Mm-hmm.
that would be any use.
Sure, I mean, you can go back and go get it.
Yeah.
It'll take you a bit, though.
Yes. So she's gone. Bye.
See you in a
Okay.
little bit.
Don't die.
I'll protect
Aelin's
them.
not. Aelin's not sure exactly what to do. She doesn't exactly want to get near this thing, but it could also be the kid. So she's just kind of standing there waiting to see if something happens.
Okay, you see one of these tentacles make a swipe for Knell. You've backed this beast into a corner. It's gonna lash pretty much to its closest target. And with the reach on those appendages, so does a 21 hit?
Yep.
Okay.
because technically wouldn't Gillie, because I moved out of Hickory's way and is now in front approaching said beast?
It's given the reach of the two appendages, so
Yeah,
it's
I'm pretty
making a
sure it's anything
multi-attack.
within 10 feet.
It's making a
Okay.
multi-attack anyway,
It's,
so
it's just me first.
yeah.
Would there
Okay. What?
is there? I know there's something monks can do. I'm not sure if I have it yet, but I can like kind of try to swap it away. Maybe that's just
I
a
think
thing.
you're thinking about catch bullets or projectiles or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't think I have that one yet.
No,
Yeah, I'm
not
pretty
yet.
sure you don't
Next
have that
level.
yet, and it's not a projectile anyway.
Okay.
Okay.
I
It's nice damage anyway. Right. So Knell receives 5 bludgeoning damage plus, ouch, 13 piercing damage.
Oh, so 18?
18 total. See, it's those teeth on the end of those appendages, mate. Nasty things. Right, it's gonna make its second attack with its other tentacle and aim for Gillie.
I'd like to use a reaction to impose disadvantage.
Okay, roll another d20 then. Okay, original one was lower. That's 14 plus 6, so that's an unnatural 20.
Oof.
Does that hit Gillie?
I would like to use a key point to dodge.
Alright, you dodge it. No effect.
And I will look at Charity and be like, Charity! Stop your assassin! I know you're a sweet, beautiful tiefling.
Okay.
Are we doing turns now? Are we in combat?
I mean, not all of you are. It's just Gillie,
Okay.
Knell, and this beast. I mean, Salvya's not quite anywhere close to being its range, so.
Well,
And
when I
Kiira's
have
plus,
the ability to
plus.
do so, I would like to attempt to make Webby do a web attack.
Sure. It's your turn anyway. So, go ahead.
Okay. Let's see. Where's her web attack? Everything is. There it is. 15 plus 5, so that would hit. But do I have to roll animal handling or anything like that, or just Webby just does what I say now?
You're at the point where you've got like signals there. You can use it on Webby.
Okay. So yeah, she. Uh. Wait, how far away is she?
Well, she came rushing back with Gillie, so
Yeah, she was following Gillie.
probably in the middle.
Okay. As long as it's within 30 feet, then yeah, it's
Yes,
20 to hit.
you're right. Yeah, that hits.
Okay. Charity Displacer Beast is now webbed.
Yeah, you just hear it like roar. It's just like that high pitch roar sound. It sounds vaguely like a lion.
And I would like to attempt to grab Gillie and run. Can I do that?
Sure.
Gillie would have run up towards the beast and be like, my baby!
Would it have been an action to command Webby, or would it be...
It would have been an action.
Okay, so I can't make another action to grab Gillie.
Nope.
Okay, that's all I can do in my turn then, because I'm not gonna leave Gillie there unprotected.
Sure, Gillie's turn.
Gillie would run up to the webbed beast and like probably attempt to try to pet their head and be like, Charity, I'm so sorry about this. They don't trust you, but I trust you and I love you so much. You're my perfect little tiefling.
All
Well,
right.
current giant black cat, but I still love you.
Roll animal handling.
Okay, hold on. Let me get back to my stats. There they are. Animal handling. What is that? Oh, only got a 10. I rolled a 7.
Okay. Just all right. Surprise! Surprise! The dice are being nice.
Yes.
Yeah. You pet the beast. It seems to calm down a little.
I get down on my knees and it's like, oh, my baby. I'm so sorry about this.
Your
Gillie
Salvia.
baby,
screaming
my
abuse.
tail. Ugh. No.
Salvia, your turn.
Nursing wounds now. Fuck.
I missed a bit of what happened, but I got that Knell was hurt.
Yep.
Nell's been hurt. The displacer beast has been webbed, so it's restrained. Gillie petted the beast. It let that happen. It's
Mm.
currently being hugged. Or more pets. Unsure.
Salvia will try to step a bit closer, not enough to be in range, but she wants to try to calm Charity too.
Mm-hmm.
So she will, Charity, it's us. You know us, right? Don't be scared. Don't worry. We got you, okay? Don't worry. You're safe with us, okay?
Roll persuasion.
Oh, okay.
She should totally have advantage because Charity just absolutely loved Salvia.
I'm in the other boat. I'm thinking it should be disadvantage just because the displacer beast can't understand common speak.
Hmm.
True.
So, DM's call.
It's just going to be a normal persuasion. So it's neither got advantage
Okay.
or disadvantage. Because you've got to think about it this way. The stats would be slightly changed for this displacer beast because it is Charity.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, I got a lucky time with the points of this because I always land with a 0. Okay. I got a 21
21?
Nice. Holy shit.
because I got an 18, but then a 3 in persuasion.
Yeah, alright then. Okay. What happens is the beast focuses in on Salvia and just goes like not limp in this way, but submissive. It's just like it just lies down under its web coating.
I'm just imagining this little churring, purring, meow type noise coming
Aww.
from it now, like.
Mm.
Too cute.
Alyn has followed after, though she's staying a bit behind, and
this is why I
isn't
didn't
really
roll
doing
for
anything.
initiative, because I knew it wasn't going to end
Yeah.
up being an actual proper fight.
Can I tell that the angriness has been calmed?
Oh yeah, it's not being aggressive.
I am going to wrap an arm around my torso and go over to Webby and just sort of lean on her for a little bit and say, ow! It took me down to 10 hit points, guys! That was more than half of my hit points!
How bad did look? How bad hurt does she look?
I'm pretty sure my whole chest is torn up by the goddamn displacer beast tentacle.
It's just like you had a
I'm
shirt
gonna need a new shirt.
and bandages.
I don't have any armor.
Ouch. Okay. Actually, as she's following, she probably saw her go over, and she probably would have also gone over and used. Which one is it?
Cure wounds.
I have 2. Either healing, probably healing word. I think that one's more.
I thought Cure Wounds was the stronger one.
Cure
Is it
Wounds
Cure
is the
Wounds or Healing Word? Okay.
Cure Wounds is the stronger.
Give me a
Yeah,
second,
it's
let me find
because
the-
it's harder to cast Cure Wounds on people because you have to touch them.
Oh, okay. So I'll do Cure Wounds, but that was an action, so I wasn't sure if moving was part of the action. So, yeah, she'll do Cure Wounds on her.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, you get to roll for healing then.
Yep, 1d8
How much
plus
do
your
I get?
spell casting modifier.
That's a 6. The 8 is the double triangle, correct? Yes. 4.
So
Okay,
12
what
healing?
spells? The creature you touch gains the number of hit points equal to 1d8 plus your spellcasting ability modifier, which is 5, I believe. This spell has no effect on undeads or constructs.
Yeah, basically you roll a d8 and
Excuse
add
me.
your modifier.
So 4, that'd be a 9. And that should be enough
So-
without you doing it at a higher level or anything, so.
9 healing?
Yeah.
Oh, fucking bless you. I'm not all better, but I think the bleeding at least has stopped. I'm not pouring blood everywhere.
Yeah, but you still don't have a shirt. And it's like, this is the second shirt.
Yeah, the entire front of my shirt was just shredded, I think.
Yeah, it's like it's still hanging on, but it's just like you've got definite holes there.
Yeah, it feels better. Thank you, Alyn. It's so much better. Thank you. But I think I am really missing my armor right now, and I'm just gonna hug my arms around my chest and try to will away the pain.
Hmm.
I should have tried to do. Would I have been able to do it at a second level?
You
Don't
could,
know.
but
Do you have a second?
it's
Do you
fine.
have a second level
Wait, no.
spell slot?
Yeah, I don't think you can do second level yet. I don't think you get second level spells at when you're level 3.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know I have cantrips 1 and 2.
It's
And
okay.
then
I
I
don't
have-
want to make you use up all of your spell slots, especially when we've only just started the day.
I was saying that, like, switch it out for the instead of 1, it was 2. But okay.
Would
Anyway.
Gillie know what happened to Charity by chance?
I mean, you know for a fact that, yeah, this beast is Charity.
No,
Um,
talking what would cause a tiefling to shift into a cat.
Nope. You got no idea.
We'll have to ask later.
It's just like this little mewling noise comes from, like, Charity, and it's just, like, pouring at the ground, trying to get closer to Salvia, but this web is in the way.
Well, Displacer Beast can make a strength check. It only needs to make a 12 in order to get out.
Yeah, that's an immediate pass. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just see this webbing torn away, and like this beast just walks over to Salvia and is just like nuzzled up against her. It's just like almost knocking poor Salvia over.
See, Charity loves you. But I'm still mommy. You can be second mommy.
It's quite amusing to see this big
You
displacer
wish.
beast hiss at the spider.
I'll hiss back at the Displacer Beast for a moment.
Charity, remember, Webby is nice. He helped save you. Everyone here is friend. And you're just a beautiful. I still love you, Webby!
Nell's having a bad day.
You just see Charity do what Encat's cat is doing, like tries to bury itself in Salvia. This thing is big. It's much bigger.
By this
Salvia
time, would
will
Incat actually be back with the sword?
Yeah, and gets probably back with the sword back.
Nell's probably doing what Encat's cat is doing to Webby,
Mm.
while holding onto her chest and being sad. I mean, she's terrified of displacer beasts.
Mhm.
She was just attacked by one, and now all of her friends are
Again?
loving on it.
Salvia will get closer to Charity. Try to pet his head
You're
or offer a
being
hug.
used as a giant hiding / scratching post. Yeah, you
Yeah,
are literally pressed
Charity is
against.
loving on you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Charity's right next, like pressed up against you. You don't need to move anywhere.
He's
Hmm.
being Goku.
Yay.
Yeah, you're basically petting this cat whether you want to or not because you are like an entire body worth of hand.
Then she's hugging and petting and telling comfort words to the poor scared child. He must be really scared.
I'm gonna yell at everybody. Isn't this supposed to be the type of thing that it goes away at daytime? Or
It's
is
just,
that
I, re-
something else?
it's just like this
I really
mule.
hope so.
Gillie looks up to see if he can see the moon anywhere, to see if it's a full moon.
No, you can see the moon, but it's not a full moon.
Not a werecat.
What time is it now?
About 7 in the morning.
And mid autumn. That's probably not early enough to be daylight, is it? Or is it getting into daylight? I can't
It's getting
remember.
into daylight.
Okay.
But yeah, Kiira, you come back to seeing Salvia almost shoved over by this giant beast.
Kiira is just like, not again, kind of like
I
sighing.
will comment as Kiira comes up. Do I notice Kiira first off? Do I
Um,
notice when she comes up?
I mean, she's not stealthing it, so
I'm kind of coming carefully from the forest because I don't know. There was kind of like, okay, there might be a fight or there might not be a fight. I don't know. So I'd be coming carefully out of the forest, kind of like
So
checking
would you be stealthing?
kind of naturally.
okay. So Kira's natural stealthiness.
What's your passive stealth? I guess. Is it more than 13?
I mean, she's just a quiet walker, so I mean, everybody can see when she appears.
Then I'm just gonna say to her,
Hi.
it's fine. It loves Salvia now. It's uh
So we
just to
had
try to dissuade her from trying to fight and make it any violence because I don't want any more violence right now. No, thank you. I need to get some armor.
Alyn just
Yes,
kind of gives
we
her a
are
little
buying
pat.
you one.
Alyn just gives her a little pat. Not saying anything.
Aw, thank you. That makes me feel a little bit better.
so
Kira, as you're walking closer, the sword is getting hotter in your hands.
I would kind of put it in front of me, kind of like trying to see if something happens to it, and also kind of look at the cat in front of me, like, is there a connection or something?
All I have to ask, is he holding it like a sword or flat?
Flat, like the other hand is on the handle and the other one is like under the blade.
It's better to to clarify these sometimes.
Yes, you notice. You notice that the sheath around this beast's chest is glowing as well.
I'll walk towards the cat slowly, still kind of like, okay, what is happening?
As you get closer, you feel like the sword is trying to pull itself out of your hands.
Does Gillie notice anything happening to Charity as
This
this is
glowing's
all
pretty
happening?
bright. I mean, it's pretty visible. So.
No. I'm not saying with the sheath or the sword, but with Charity himself.
I mean, oh, sorry. Charity is still nuzzled up against Salvia. Not really paying that much of attention, but it's like you notice that like the front portion of their body seems to be moving tight, like very slowly in Kiira's direction.
I would just go closer with the sword and kind
Yep,
of
and the
warn
sword pulls itself out
Salvia.
of your hand.
Okay, and kind of
Ouch.
like try to warn Salvia that watch out, there's a sword coming.
Yeah,
I don't
Salvia,
want it to hit
dexterity saving
her.
throw, please.
Oh, yeah. Oh my god. No. Okay.
A flying sword is flying
um,
towards the cat. You're in the way.
what's the thing I have to add? Dexterity. Oh no. I got an 11.
11. Yeah, ouch. Not nice.
Ah.
Oh no.
Oh, that's nice. It's a 2.
Oh, good.
Okay. I was so scared. I was like,
You
oh my
got whacked
god,
on the back.
I'm going to be stabbed.
Yeah,
Much
Got whacked on the
damage
back
done
by
for
the
you.
handle.
yeah, the hand that hits you in the back of the head. It goes past.
Well, okay. But is Charity okay? I don't want the sword going to him. Oh my god. Is he
The
okay?
sword slots itself quite neatly into the sheath, and you
Oh,
watch
okay.
as the cat begins to glow and shrink and morph until passed out on the ground is Charity.
Oh.
Is Charity naked because
No.
okay.
We didn't find any
That's
Salvia
clothes.
why he
brought
wants
the
to keep his
blanket.
sword.
Hmm?
That's why he wants to keep his sword.
Yes,
Yeah,
but
Knell will
maybe.
very, very plainly say, "We are not ever taking that sword from him ever."
Okay, we second the motion, or however you say that.
You all watch as like Charity begins to like wake up just a little bit, and it's like, why is everyone staring at me?
Oh, my beautiful baby is back. You turned into a giant kitty. You were very beautiful, kitty. But you turned into a giant kitty. Can you tell us about that, please?
All you get is what? And we're gonna end the
Are
session
you
there.
feeling?
Oh,
Oh
no.
no!